ellipse. Ellipse.
No, that's an exponential curve. And the third?
Yeah, I like the word.
Parabola.
No, that is a straight line, which apparently is a curve. Right, another starter question. From the Latin for edge and consisting of a number of interconnected nerve cell nuclei, which ring-shaped structure is centrally situated in the brain and is involved in the expression of instinct and mood in activities of the endocrine and motor systems of the body?
Middlesex Chari.
Medulla.
No, anyone to buzz from Manchester?
Manchester Dixon.
Is it the limbic system?
It is the limbic system, yes. Your bonuses are on a surname, Manchester. Which British economist made pioneering contributions to general economic equilibrium theory and shared the 1972 Nobel Prize for Economics with the American Kenneth J. Arrow?
Jones?
No, it was Sir John Hicks. Another bonus question. Which future novelist and poet was apprenticed in 1865 at the age of 16 to the Dorchester architect and church restorer Thomas Hicks?
Thomas Hardy?
Correct. Point Hicks, named after Lieutenant Zachary Hicks, who first sighted it on April the 19th, 1770, is on the southeast corner of which landmass?
Australia?
It is Australia. OK, we reach the music round now. For your music starter, you're going to hear the beginning, middle and end sections of a well-known symphony. 10 points if you can tell me the name of the symphony and its composer.
Manchester Cassidy.
Mozart Jupiter Symphony.
That is correct, yes. Now for your music bonuses, you're going to hear 3 more pieces of music reduced to excerpts from the beginning, middle and end. In each case, simply name the work from which they're taken. Here's the first for 5.
The Enigma Variations?
No, it's Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. Here's the second. Come on.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, it's Weill and Brecht's Threepenny Opera. And finally for 5 points. Come on.
The 1812 Overture?
God, you are really bad on classical music. Smetana's symphonic poems Ma Vlast. Another starter question now. BASIC, the computer programming language using familiar English words and designed for beginners, is so named because of...
Middlesex Chari.
Beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code.
Correct, yes. Middlesex, your bonuses are on 17th century history. Who in 1632 published the work Dialogo sopra i 2 massimi sistemi del mondo?
Spinoza?
No, it was Galileo Galilei. After being forced to repudiate Copernican cosmology in 1634, Galileo is famously supposed to have muttered, "Eppur si muovi." What is the English meaning of these words?
I still maintain the Earth goes round the sun.
No, I'm afraid that is not the... I mean, that's the kind of sense of it, but what he actually said was a mutter under his breath, yet it does move, or but it does move. I can't give you the points for that. 5 points if you can get this, though. Which English writer recorded his meeting with Galileo in Areopagitica, a discourse against censorship published in 1644?
Pass.
It was John Milton. Another starter question now. The word parkea is a term applied by Maori New Zealanders when referring specifically to what?
Middlesex Rough.
Flooring?
Nope. Anyone want to buzz from Manchester?
Manchester Fairweather.
Colonists?
Yes, a New Zealander of European descent. That's correct. Was that a guess?
Yes.
That was a good one. You get bonuses on infections of the skin, Manchester. You wouldn't have wanted them anyway in Middlesex, would you? Here you go for a possible 5. What condition is caused by the herpes simplex virus type 1, or HSV1, and is also called blister fever?
Cold sore.
Correct. What condition is due to uncontrolled growth of epithelial cells in the skin caused by some types of papillomavirus?
Eczema.
No, it's warts. Caused by the varicella zoster virus, which disease, also called varicella, leads to vesicular eruptions on the skin which rupture and form a scale before healing?
Psoriasis.
No, it's chickenpox or shingles. We're going to take a second picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a diagram of the human digestive system. 10 points if you can name the organ highlighted and circled.
Manchester Dixon.
The liver.
No, anyone want to take a punt from Middlesex? You may not confer one of your
Middlesex
bugs.
Selway.
The pancreas.
It is the pancreas, yes. So for your picture bonuses, Middlesex, 3 more organs involved in the digestive and circulatory processes. 5 points for each one you can name. First, what name is given specifically to A?
The colon.
No, that's the ileum. Secondly, what is B?
Should we make a gallbladder? Yeah. The gallbladder.
No, that's the spleen. And what is C?
The colon.
No, that is the cecum. Right, another starter question now. In the human skull, what word refers to various narrow cavities and specifically to the air-filled cavities of the frontal and maxillary...
Manchester Dixon.
Sinuses.
Sinuses is right, yes. Here are your bonuses, Manchester. Which Irish politician served as IRA Chief of Staff in the 1930s, later becoming involved in human rights organisations, was appointed Secretary General of the International Commission of Jurists, and in 1974 won the Nobel Prize for Peace? Come on.
Nominate.
Eamon de Valera.
No, it was Sean McBride. Who was the mother of Sean McBride and the inspiration for many poems by W.B. Yeats?
Mrs. McBride.
It was Mrs. McBride. Give me a first name, though.
Ethel.
No, it was Maud. She was previously Maud
my
Gonne.
next guess.
Maud Gonne, or Maud McBride, played the title character in which play by W.B. Yeats, first performed in 1902 by the Irish Literary Theatre?
No idea.
It's Kathleen Nehulahan. 4 minutes to go and another starter question. Which writer and artist was described by D.H. Lawrence as the only painter of imaginative pictures apart from landscape that England has produced?
Middlesex Selway.
Turner.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points, though Wordsworth called him mad, adding, "There is something in the madness of this man which interests me more than the sanity of Lord Byron or Sir Walter Scott."
Manchester Dixon.
Is it Blake?
It was William Blake, yes. Your bonuses, Manchester, are on clouds. What numerical phrase is used by the US Weather Bureau to denote the highest levels of cumulonimbus clouds and is popularly used for a feeling of euphoria and joyful exultation?
9.
Correct, cloud 9. The lines from Hebrews chapter 12, "Whereupon, seeing we are also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses," gave which British author the title for her detective novel of 1926?
Dorothy L. Sayers.
Correct. Which poet described the human soul trailing clouds of glory from God who is our home in his ode, Intimation of Immortality of 1807? Come on.
Wordsworth.
It was William Wordsworth. 3 minutes to go. Another starter question. Which form of transport reappeared on the streets of Paris in April 19...
Middlesex Chari.
Trams.
No, you lose 5 points in April 1999 with a version designed by the Leonhardt brothers. It consisted of a fiberglass cabin mounted on a 21-gear tricycle and was inspired by...
Manchester Morris.
Rickshaws.
The rickshaw is correct. Your bonuses are on Native American lands, Manchester. The name Indian Territory was applied to various regions of the United States at different times, but by the mid-1850s it included only a region almost identical with which present-day state?
Indiana.
No, it was Oklahoma. 5 tribes who previously lived in the southeastern states were from 1830 to 34 forcibly moved into Indian Territory by the government. The Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek and Seminole were 4 of them. Name the 5th.
The Sioux.
No, it was the Cherokee. In the 1870s, following the discovery of gold there, the US government took possession of which upland region of South Dakota from the Sioux Indians, most of them moving to reservations? Come on.
The Klondike.
No, it's Black Hills. Klondike was miles away. 1.5 minutes to go. Another starter question. What number connects a line of £1 coins 11.25 metres long, the US banknote that bears a portrait of President McKinley, an annual motor race held at the Brickyard, Indianapolis, a ream of paper...
Manchester Dixon.
500.
500 is correct. Monkey. So here are your bonuses, Manchester. They're on Old Testament prophets. Which prophet is said to have divided the waters of the River Jordan after receiving the mantle of Elijah?
Elisha.
Correct. The books of Isaiah and Micah both contain the prophecy that men shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into what? Come on. Come on.
Sickles.
No, they're pruning knives or pruning hooks. A plague of what was regarded by the prophet Joel as heralding the day of the Lord and prompted him to call for a widespread fast? Come on.
Locusts.
It was a plague of locusts. Just over 30 seconds to go. Another starter question. Which first name links the Grand Inquisitor Torquemada with the playwright Tennessee Williams and Cardinal Wolsey?
Manchester Cassidy.
Owen.
No, anyone to bust of Middlesex quickly?
Middlesex Chari.
Richard.
No, it's Thomas. Another starter question. A former Prime Minister, which politician, as his country's foreign minister, proposed in 1950 the plan to pool the coal and steel resources of Western Europe, effectively preparing the foundations of the common market?
Middlesex Chari.
Belgian Prime Minister.
No, anyone want to buzz from Manchester?
Manchester Cassidy.
Winston Churchill.
No, it was Robert Schuman. And at the goal, Middlesex have 70, Manchester have 200. Well, Middlesex, you're a sporting team, but I'm afraid the absence of science did tell against you a little bit. But thank you very much for taking part. Manchester, wasn't the first time, and I don't suppose it'll be the last time that Rolf Harris appears in this programme. Albeit I don't think he's ever been yoked in quite so extraordinarily. So we look forward to seeing you in the next round of the contest with some more extraordinary answers. I hope you'll be able to join us next time for another first round match. Until then, it's goodbye from Middlesex University. Goodbye. Goodbye. It's goodbye from Manchester University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Well, that was quite a thrashing. University Challenge is back next Monday here on BBC Two at the same time. Adam Hart-Davis is with us next tonight, beginning his journey looking at what the Stuarts did for us.